So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is AI coming for your job? I mean, it's the question on just about everyone's mind right now. Some people see it as this incredible productivity tool, a way to unlock brand new growth. But others, they see it as a direct threat, something that's going to automate tasks and make entire roles obsolete. So what's the real story here? Is it a threat, an opportunity, or something else entirely? All right, let's get into it. We're going to tackle this thing head on. First, we'll look at the reality of AI as a genuine interruption. Then we'll dive into that central tension. Is this really about replacement, or is it a massive productivity boost? After that, we're going to introduce a new strategic roadmap to help navigate all this change, see what it actually means for the future of your work, and finally, look at what the new partnership looks like, humans with AI. Okay, so first things first, let's just acknowledge the anxiety, because it is absolutely real. For millions of professionals, AI isn't some far-off concept. No, it's an immediate interruption to their careers. And to really get the scale of this, we've got to look at some hard numbers. This quote, it really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? AI isn't just a slightly better spreadsheet. It's a fundamental shift in how work gets done, especially for those tasks that are routine and repetitive. And trust me, the numbers back this up in a big, big way. Just look at manufacturing. In that sector alone, over 1.7 million jobs have already been lost globally because of AI-driven automation. We're talking about industrial robots that can now handle things like welding and assembly with a speed and a precision that, well, humans just can't match. And it's not just blue-collar work, not by a long shot. Think about customer service. A massive 80% of routine questions, things like, where's my order, or how do I reset my password, are now being handled by AI chatbots. That fundamentally changes the entire role of a human agent. And this trend is hitting the world of finance, too. There's this thing called robotic process automation, or RPA, and it's already displaced 40% of junior accounting roles. These are AI tools built specifically to take over tasks like processing invoices and reconciling ledgers. So the disruption is clearly real. But is it the whole story? So yeah, that's the disruption, it's happening. But it is not the full picture. Because alongside all of this displacement, AI is also creating incredible value and opening up brand new doors. And this, my friends, is where the story gets a lot more interesting. And here it is. The central tension laid bare. On the one hand, you get a story like the one from the fintech firm Klarna. Their AI assistant is now doing the work of 700 full-time employees. That's a crystal clear case of replacement. But then, on the other hand, if you zoom out, you see that in those exact same industries, new roles are actually being created, and wages are rising faster than in sectors that are less exposed to AI. How about that? And here's the other side of that coin. According to a major study by PwC, workers who have AI skills aren't just getting by, they're commanding an average wage premium of 56%. That is not a small number. It tells you that while some tasks are being automated away, the skills that work with AI are becoming incredibly valuable. So how in the world do we make sense of this contradiction? It feels like two different realities. Well, what we need is a better framework, a kind of strategic roadmap to really understand how different jobs are being reshaped by all this. And it turns out, researchers at MIT have developed a really powerful tool for this exact problem. It's called the epoch methodology. Instead of just looking at tasks, it quantifies the uniquely human stuff a job requires across 5 key dimensions: empathy, presence, opinion, creativity, and hope. You can think of it as a way to measure what makes a job, well, human. Now, using this epoch idea, we can map out jobs onto this quadrant here. The horizontal axis measures the risk of automation, how likely it is that AI can just completely take over the tasks. And the vertical axis measures the potential for augmentation, how much AI can superpower a human's capabilities. This gives us 4 really distinct strategic zones. So let's see how this actually plays out with real jobs. Down on the bottom left, you've got status quo jobs like social workers. They have low automation and low augmentation potential because they rely so heavily on that human-to-human interaction. Up in the top left, augmentation-led roles, like actuaries, who use AI as a powerful tool to enhance their complex judgment. Then over on the right, you have the roles with high automation risk. Human-in-the-loop jobs, like bank tellers, are being transformed but still need that human touch. And finally, displacement-driven roles, like warehouse operations, are seeing massive automation of those standardized repetitive tasks.
Okay, so that's the big picture framework. But what does this idea of augmentation actually look like in your day-to-day work? Let's get really practical here.
See, augmentation isn't some abstract, far off concept. It's happening right now in the tools many of us use every single day. AI can help you draft your emails, it can find the perfect time for a team meeting without that endless back and forth, it can generate first drafts of reports, transcribe your meetings automatically, and even analyze data in a spreadsheet with simple text commands. It's all about offloading the routine grunt work so you can focus on high impact, strategic thinking. But with all this change happening, if augmentation is helping experienced pros, does that mean there's a group that's actually more vulnerable to the displacement side of this whole equation? Research from Stanford University, which analyzed millions of payroll records, gives us a pretty clear answer. Since late 2022, young workers, we're talking aged 22 to 25, have seen a significant drop in employment in these AI-exposed fields. So why them? Well, the theory is that AI is very, very good at replacing what's called codified knowledge. You know, the kind of book smarts you get from formal education, while that unspoken, experience-based knowledge of veteran workers is much, much harder for an AI to replicate. And all of this brings us to the final, and I think the most important piece of this entire puzzle. The future isn't about humans versus AI. It's about humans with AI. So what does all this mean for you right now? First, take a hard look at your own work. Which of your daily tasks could be automated, and where can AI augment or boost your skills? Second, double down on developing those uniquely human epoch skills, your empathy, your creativity, your critical judgment. These are the areas where machines just can't compete and where you're going to provide the most value. And finally, and this is the big one, you have to embrace continuous learning. In a world where the rules are constantly changing, the ability to adapt and learn new things is your ultimate competitive advantage. Look, AI isn't just another piece of technology. It is a fundamental shift in the entire landscape of work. It's changing the value of skills, the nature of jobs, the path of entire careers. The disruption is real, for sure, but so is the opportunity. The only question left is, what's your next move?